People are always asking me about my production style and how I work with people. And it's very about, if Joel's coming in to work with me, we're going to talk for a little bit like this without the microphones in front of us. And I'm going to ask you about what's going on with you. You're going to tell me a bunch of, and then I'm going to start reading through you and get down to a deeper place. Because, for me to write music, I don't like just surface stuff. I like to go deep. That's just how I am. I'm a songwriter. So I get into people's space and I'm putting on your hat, your vest, I put your clothes on, and I'm like, it's not about me writing a song about what's going to be great for me. It's about how am I going to identify a great song for you. So anyways, I talk about that a lot. So that was the only reason it seemed a little random, but I 100% agree that the universe gives us signs. All that my whole life is built on one gut feeling. I'm constantly following this frequency that's constantly pulsing in my life. And sometimes if I open up the frequency, and magnify it, I get in there and I see the signs of what I need to do. And that's how I navigate through life. It's constantly by receiving these incredible gifts the universe constantly gives, but sometimes we just don't see it. Sometimes we don't want to see it because sometimes the universe brings us bad gifts too, but those gifts are important for our journey. So I just try to open up and receive everything as much as possible. But I love what you said because it is all true. And especially being creative and our job is to express, we have to keep those channels open to be our best self and to be believable and authentic and organic. And hence why music sucks right now is because people are not being organic and they're being strategic. Everything's strategic. And I get it. I get that's what the world we're in, but it's like that element of people going on a gut feeling and expressing what actually comes from the heart or from sometimes. How many songs have you written that you have no idea what it's about?
Till later.
You
hear it and you go, that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Because sometimes these songs come to us and we're like, I don't fucking know what this is. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, of course. Why didn't I see that? Or it was for somebody else or whatever. I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go into this.
No.
Just asked you
how
you're doing.
I love it.
What is Westlake?
I knew we would have a talk like this. What's the point of small talk anyways?
I can't go out
just want to talk
because I can't do small talk. You know how people just try to get into these conversations with you in a really loud place. I'm like going, I don't hear you, man. I'm not.
And my hearing's bad, so it's twice as bad for me.
You're blurred to me, and plus you're drunk, so I'm not going to get involved in a heavy conversation. But to your point, as far as the thing that jumps out to me the most is remaining open. I think that right now we're in a world, in a time where we need to go back to what I'm saying earlier, where we have to open ourselves up a little bit more to get a little deeper. I'm not saying we have to go, and be, Joni Mitchell. I'm just saying we do need to kind of open it up a little bit and start looking at things a little differently because we need a little bit more depth in life and in art, in poetry, and I don't want to see the same movies being recycled. I think that creativity is hitting a weird space because people are not open to risk, because everybody's worried about their jobs. Every kid out there on social media is worried about saying the wrong thing and losing, their followers or being, like, I don't know what's the word, being canceled or
all the versions
how am I going to
that.
get more followers? How am I going to do this? We're in such a weird place to be creative because you would think it would give us the most open opportunity, but it's actually closing us up because it's making us have more, we're rigid. Creative is like being funneled into this, okay, this is the space I can live in. Like somebody said something to me about you can't release demos because it won't be caught onto the algorithms on the DSPs. And I'm like, well, you can't call it a demo. I'm like, but it's a demo.
Yeah.
So what the fuck am I going to call it? Well, you can't call it a demo because it won't recognize, but I'm not trying to get it on the DSPs. Could give a about that. I'm just trying to show that this artist has a body of work and this is where it came from, the acoustic version of it. And then I'll release the big production later, but I want people to hear where songs come from. They don't come blaring out, of your butthole like that,
Yeah.
They come
like perfectly mixed.
they come out with like, hey, here's an idea. So I'm trying to utilize that. I know I just jumped into a whole other area, but it's all the same thing.